I'm Al-Falaki.
I'm Bav,
and welcome to
the Nail It Podcast.
This is your place to lead better, live fully and laugh more. It's your blueprint to optimal performance. Hello, and welcome to another episode, not just any episode, the Christmas special of the Nail It Podcast, your place to
lead better, live fully, laugh more.
Woohoo! Bavin!
Hey!
It's the end of 2025!
Can I do the shout? It's Christmas! You know, that's when you know it's Christmas, right? When you hear that on the radio. Do you not listen out for that?
I have to tell you a funny story about that before we comment on the antlers on your jumper that are not visible right now. Are they pearls? No. Jingle bells!
Can you hear that?
No, we can't hear it.
I'm not being a weirdo, but it's
anyone who's watching this can just see Bavin jiggling up and down as if he had a pair of what.
My tassels. But look at this. Look. Can I show you this before?
Yeah, bring your screen down. Woohoo! Oh,
cool. I've got like 10.
Look, lit up and everything.
I've got 10 Christmas jumpers. I love Christmas.
Oh my goodness. So I was trying to decide what to do. I didn't know whether to go for the 1960s style tinsel, right, or whether to look angelic, or whether to go for the suave scarfy thing. I might just change around as we talk.
Yeah. As we go through the show, you can just move it around. But
so I'm definitely starting with an angelic look, of course. Yeah.
Well, no, that looks like, what did Jesus wear when he had barbed wire? That's what that looks like. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. His crown. It was his crown, wasn't it? That was down.
That's it. That's the one.
Okay, no, I'm going for the angel look.
Yeah. Not the crucifix.
Should we start with our favourite quotes? I thought it would be really nice. Yeah. Started off with a quote that we feel encompasses how we want to move into the new year. Are you going to go first?
No, you go first. It's only
because you can't remember yours.
Up in a minute. Go on, you go first. And it'll be good to revise the quotes. It's one of the favourite parts of of this show. I think is the quotes bit. So seeing as it's a Christmas special, let's go for one for the new year.
Okay, so I decided to use one of my own quotes.
Okay.
Because my book, see, that's my draft copy sitting over there. I have another draft copy. It's like endless review copies here. And I just thought, why am I thinking of other people's quotes? I've written loads of my own quotes in this book. So, drum roll.
Go on then.
Can't remember it now. I'm only kidding.
The Rena original quote. Is this in the book? It's in the book.
This is in the book because the book is interspersed with quotes, equations, formulae for what stuff is. Putting kind of science, mathematical twists on lots of stuff. So the quote is: "The only limits that exist are those that you place on yourself."
I'm sure I've heard you say that before.
By Dr Rana and Al-Falaki.
Yeah. Go on. Say that slower. Come on.
The only limit.
Go, you know how slow I am. Okay. I'm just processing it. So essentially what you're saying is that the only limits are inside your head.
Yes.
Yeah.
The barriers that you put on yourself. It's the whole acronym FEAR, right? What is it? Fake energy appearing real.
Okay.
And so you've got to push through that. We have so much self-talk. Yeah. All day long, and you don't notice it until you become more conscious. I mean, I've got to the point now where I automatically reframe, automatically reword if I hear a mumbling something in my head. Like even if you get something wrong or you type something wrong, you might just literally be saying stuff, "Oh, don't be so stupid," or "You're such an idiot," or "Oh, I'm not very good at typing," or "I've got fat thumbs," or whatever it happens to be. You're still criticizing yourself. Yeah. Imagine if you were saying that to somebody else all the time. So the more aware you become of that, the more conscious you become as a being, the more you realize you are also putting limits on yourself, from waking up in the morning to thinking, "Oh God, it's a grey day, it's miserable today." Yeah. So it lowers your energy, through to like a dentistry day. "Oh my God, today's going to be really tough," or "This is going to be a really awful patient." It's like, how can you big yourself up? How can you champion yourself? How can you push yourself? How can you step outside your comfort zone? Find comfort in the discomfort. Find ease in the dis-ease, because that is the place of growth. That is the changing room. That's when you move from your waiting room to your changing room. and from your changing room, you go out and you have the best party ever, which is the party of your life. The only limits are the ones you put on yourselves with I can't, I should, it's not possible. There is always a possible way. There is always a possible way to feel great, even in circumstances that aren't so great. There is a ways to create calm within the chaos. So you can break through any limit. Yes, you usually need a coach or a mentor to do it, but it is possible.
Yeah. And I think you just hit the nail on the head there with regards to having somebody to speak to, because that is I've learned that this year. And I think I've come a long way this year with regards to the self-talk part of it, because I think it was at your boot camp day, and I think it hit home. I think you said it, or somebody said it, or I heard somebody say this, is that when you ask somebody, who do you speak to the most? And everyone goes, their mom, their brother, their wife, spouse, whatever it is. You go, no, but who do you actually talk to the most? And everyone's like, well, it's got to be another human, but it's not. It's the voices you hear in your head, right? You talk to yourself all day, every day. And
60 to 80,000 thoughts a day.
Once you understand that, then obviously you're going to live in a negative way if the way you're talking to yourself is negative, right? It just makes sense. But exactly, see, if you can reframe things into a positive light, then your brain is wired to search for that, and you get the reconfirmation in your head of, yes, this is true. So if you wake up thinking this is going to be a great day, your brain's automatically looking at ways of how do I reiterate that this is the right thought to have, this is what I'm looking for, and you're going to look for good things, and you're going to have a better day. It's as simple as that, and it's the simplest way I can put it. That
over 80% negative thoughts, and 95% of those are repetitive. So it just goes to show you really need to switch on the conscious brain to be aware of those thoughts, right?
Yeah. But yeah, that's a great quote. I like that.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's an original, yeah, and that's in the book that's coming out February 26th.
February 28th is the day it will be available, and
it's in February 28th, 2026. Yeah, not February 28th, year 28.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
No.
I mean, I know it's taken a long time.
No, there's no more drafts in there.
Definitely not. Yes, the 28th of February is the day it will be available in bookstores and online on Amazon, etc. But actually, while we're on that subject, there were also pre-launch bonuses, so advanced access to all those quotes and formulae and all of my top tricks, my favorite podcasts, my favorite quotes, my favorite books, all my tips on how to grow, how to evolve yourself, chapters from my other books, The Law of Attraction Uncovered, it's Believe and Succeed. I've written a chapter in there, a chapter in Be Love, A Conscious Shift to Birthing the Future. How I've written some stuff in another book, How Big Can You Dream? So yeah, loads of extra bonuses and some online mini courses as well. So that's all going to be coming up.
Okay, awesome. That's what I said. We'll get onto that. We'll get onto that. What
about your quote?
You know what? So I was thinking about this, and as I say, because this is a Christmas special, and we're looking at 2026 and our sort of new outlook of 26, I thought, what is a quote that resonates with me? And this is such a simple quote, but it says a lot. So, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Right? So, exactly, I think it's along the same lines as yours, right? So the best way to predict the future, so what's going on in your head, what you want to happen, is you have got to be in charge of creating that yourself. So the best way to predict the future is to create it. And I think that was from a management expert, someone called Peter Drucker. But apparently it's reversions, and it comes from Abraham Lincoln, and also computer pioneer Alan Kay. And the best way to predict the future was to invent it, and I think it's been adapted to create it. So,
absolutely. And people who don't believe in this, this doesn't have to be woo-woo, this idea of manifestation. It is literally about your energy. We have an electromagnetic field around us. We can prove that. We can take scans, we can show it. We walk into a room and you say, you walk into a party, it's like, it's got a good vibe, or I like the energy here. I mean, how many times do people talk about that? So you've got to firstly debunk this myth of energy and think it's some wacky thing. I mean, we as scientists know, like, energy is everything. We are energy, and energy can be created or destroyed. It cannot be created or destroyed. It can just be turned from one form to another.
Yeah.
So it is kind of like, exactly, when you've got negative thinking, when you have beliefs that are stopping you from progressing, what we call limiting beliefs, you're resonating at this much lower energy level. So you have to shift it, because you can't get more energy. You just have to turn that not so good energy into a much higher level of energy. So when we turn it into this higher level of energy, where what we give out we've got to remember, what we give out comes back to us. If we start giving out all of this amazing positive infectious energy, all of these positive affirmations, all of this belief, because it's all about how you feel. It's the feelings that resonate that create the energy. So you have the thought that creates the feeling. You think about how amazing would you feel if you could go to work and you couldn't wait to get to work every day, and you knew that it was like you just absolutely loved it, and you were going to earn all the money that you deserve to earn, or that you were in this most incredible relationship, or that you everybody around you was really healthy, like whatever it is you want to create. If you engage in how that really feels for you, that is the energy you're then going to be giving off. And what happens with energy? Like energy attracts like energy. So it's just like I always give this this vision of, like, imagine you're sitting in the middle of a lake surrounded by mountains. When you shout, what happens? It echoes back to you, right? And it echoes back in multiple ways. So there are all these different possibilities that are there depending which mountain it bounces off. So the more you give out that feeling, the more it's going to be able to bounce back to you in multiple ways. This is what we talk about, synchronicities and opportunities. So there is science to this.
Yeah. And does that tie us also in with, you're a product of people that you surround yourself with? Would that be along a similar sort of lines?
Absolutely, because those people are rubbing off on you, right? There's only so long you can stay really high energy in people who are really negative, really critical, people who don't set themselves goals, people who don't want to go anywhere. And you'll find yourself, as you shift, you won't want to hang out with those people anymore, because you'll find yourself being drained. Whereas if you get into a community of people who they're go-getters, they're positive, they lift you up, then you get lifted up even more. And you're able to do this. And actually, and going back to the science, I mean, look, me as a periodontist, right? I deal with chronic disease all day long. One of the major questions I ask about is their stress levels. That stress is created by thoughts, by negativity, by feeling depressed, by suffering from anxiety. That makes them sick. It affects your immune system. So if it can make you ill, it can certainly create a hell of a lot else that isn't so great in your life either. So you are subconsciously attracting it. And when you shift yourself, you really can. You can heal yourself, and you can totally create the life that you desire.
This is what we're about, right? This is what we're trying to spread, and that's what we're looking to do more of next year, and spread this sort of energy through the dental community, and through people in their personal and professional lives, right? So how about, why don't we turn our attention then to should we reflect, or should we go to 2026? What should we do?
Up to you. I'm just changing my look.
Okay, if you're doing that, then why don't we look? You team me up for that. Why don't we look to 2026 then?
I love that. If you're listening to this podcast, you have to go to our Instagram page at @naileit_podcast, or have a look at the YouTube channel, because you have to see Bavin right now.
I don't know where these are from. Do you know that? Do you know how you have a box of Christmas decoration, you bring them down? These somehow made it in there, but they're just, every year we just get them out and we put them on. We've got a little statue thing with a Gru, and we just put it on him, and the Christmas decoration is great. But my daughter loves them.
I love it. Fantastic. Beautiful.
Right, so with my glasses on, my rose-tinted glasses to 2026. Well then, Rana,
I think reflecting is good. And the reason I say that, again, we're always talking about nail it. So reflection is one of the 38 components. It's in the tangibility section. So that creates three acronyms: aim, act, attain. So in that attain, which is that final bit, it's all about like landing things, how to create, how to stick to your goals. And that first step about attain is about acknowledge, so needing to really celebrate your wins, which is what we're about to do, right? And then the TT is about taking time to reflect. And the evidence is very clear. When you do take time to reflect, when you be that journal, be that talk to a coach, be that speaking to a friend, really take the time to then reflect on what you've achieved, what you've done well, what you could do better, what you might want to shift, so that you continue in that feedback loop to continue to grow. But definitely celebrate your wins. I mean, I never used to do that. For me, I was always so busy. It was like the next thing. I'd be so focused on, okay, I'm going to get this paper published. And then all that work with peer review and changes and statistical analysis, and I'd get it published, and there wouldn't even be a celebration. I'd be like, right, okay, next thing. And it wouldn't stop. Even, my kids' birthdays, kids' holidays, my own celebrations. I was achieving so much, but I would feel at the end of the year like there was nothing, because I just hadn't taken the time to acknowledge I was just on this conveyor belt. So of course, it's no wonder I got sick, right?
That's the issue of trying to be happy, right? Isn't that it's like it's not a destination, it's a journey, right? Because if you're always aiming for something, once you get there, just like with, if I look back at my life, like 20 odd years ago when I was at university, thinking where I am right now, I would think to myself at that point of time, I'll be really happy when I'm there. When I've done this, I'm going to be happy. When I do this, I'm going to be happy. When I get that job, when I get that promotion, when I get that, when I start doing implants, or when I start doing this in my professional life, or when I get married, when I have children, you're going to be happy. But if you don't take time to stop and reflect and actually congratulate yourself of where you've come, what's the point? What's the point in anything?
100%. Exactly that. And that's the classic, right? I will be happy when, which stops you ever really living in the moment. Because, okay, you'll be happy then why have you just wasted this moment now when you could be happy?
Yeah.
And happiness, we got to remember, it's a transient state. So I like to talk about this feeling of joy and peace, because it also, you need the sad, right? You need the sad to appreciate the happy. But in between, there's still the peace and there's still the joy. And people say, oh, I just want to be happy. It's like, well, what is that? What does that really look like? And if it takes markers such as money, a relationship, a job, then think again, because then you're not living in the present moment. You need to be able to, again, we're back to resonance, to resonate in that place of joy and peace. And then we get the little ups and we get the little downs. But we managed to stay at that steady place of contentment. Okay,
go on then. Let's reflect on this year then. If on that note, let's say professionally, what's your highlight of 2025?
My highlight of 2025 professionally,
apart from this and having me as your co-host,
Well.
Doesn't get much better. You've reached the pinnacle, by the way.
I mean, come on, like it's everything is nail it, right?
I can't take myself seriously.
Oh, come on now. I was really liking looking at your Christmas tree.
How are you talking to me seriously with me? It's like
to be honest, it is kind of linked. Look, there were many. For me, one of the real highlights was the launch event that we did. Of
really cool day.
The Nail It, the 1 day taster boot camp style things, because the boot camp is actually like a 3-day mess with your mind, challenge you to hell and make you realize everything about yourself and want to change. But the 1 day, of course, it was really high energy. It was insightful. You can tell us more about that in a minute. So I absolutely love that. I had 30 of you in a room, and we were celebrating. We were smashing through wood. When we tell people we're playing cards, people are like, what does that mean? But there was a reason why you were playing that. You were interacting, you were socializing, you were learning about yourself and shifting and changing and going through an emotional roller coaster. So I absolutely love that. And that week, it was right off the back of the launch of Nail It in dentistry, really, as opposed to just Nail It, which obviously I've been working outside of dentistry with Nail It for many years. So we launched the Breathe Dental Wellness. See, that was a massive platform that this time last year, I was working 16, 17-hour days non-stop, and it was insane to finish creating the stuff and building the platform. So remember, for anybody who doesn't know, breathedentalwellness.org is the wellbeing platform for the entire dental community, whatever your role happens to be. There is something to do with every aspect of wellbeing there for you, be it insights, teaching, learning, or support, signposting, resources.
Yeah.
So,
and that's an NHS as well as a private resource.
Well, yeah, I should probably say it's a private as well as an NHS resource.
NHS, yeah.
It was in collaboration with the Chief Dental Officer's office. Having said that, it is really not just for NHS. It is, but it's tailored for you because we know exactly what your lifestyle is. We know what your stresses are. So it speaks to you right from what you eat, how you exercise, what you should be learning, how you can do little stress hacks. So that moment in March was the pinnacle of so much work. And then from there, I've just had this roller coaster the whole year. So that was definitely a highlight that week in March. And I'm going to have one more highlight.
Go on. Professional or personal?
Because sitting behind me.
What is that?
That's my...
What is that? Did you win a karaoke?
Don't tell me it's some weird panic thing.
What is that? Like K-pop Demon Hunters microphone.
It's a crystal microphone. Yeah, this is my award that I won.
Are you going to say you won an award for karaoke?
Yeah, last week. I did used to love singing karaoke.
I love karaoke.
I love karaoke. It was my award from the Professional Speakers Academy for Best Transformational Speaker.
Oh wow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
that is such a.
And this was another award, but I don't want to rub it in, you know.
WOHA.
Yeah, WOHA, Women of Heart Award. So that one was all about leadership, well-being, global impact, and contribution to leadership. It goes a lot deeper, but yeah, really leading with heart. But the speaking one, when I was in my early 40s, even. So if you had asked me how I feel,
about 34 years ago.
You're so kind. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Too easy.
About 10 years ago, if you'd asked me how I felt, I would literally almost laugh in your face, like feelings, and I would feel my throat constrict. And I was a global speaker, but I used to just go around, and I was brilliant at talking about dentistry and perio and lasers, and then even when I wrote my first book, talking about that, but not necessarily being able to engage and reflect my own feelings to bring my audience with me on that journey, on that up and down roller coaster. And you said it, right? It was your favorite quote in our launch of the podcast, but then our guest took it, so you couldn't have it. Of that, people don't remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah, so powerful.
So powerful. And through that, when I give a speech, it's when I try to motivate people in that environment, it's all about how you make them feel. Being a transformational speaker, not just facts. So to be recognized for that, to win an award for that this year, it was lovely to get the award, but it's about the milestone and the impact that recognition gives me. Yeah,
awesome.
Okay, you're done.
I'm not going to be able to compete at that. I was going to say something really lame. No. Look, everyone's relative, right? And it's relatively speaking. And in my head, I think, especially this year professionally, I remember having this moment when I was in practice and thinking, this is a culmination of the last 19, 20 years of clinical dentistry has come to this point where I was in flow at work thinking, I've got all these systems and processes in place, and it's taken me this long to actually think that I really enjoy what I'm doing. I'm good at what I'm doing, and I'm getting paid really well for what I'm doing. And they obviously ultimate goals of dentistry is that, yes, work is work, but it's also your life, and you've got to enjoy what you do. There's no point in doing something you don't enjoy doing because you're never going to be good at it. And I got to a point where I'm thinking, do you know what? My nurse is great, and she knows what I'm doing before I do it. Everything's all set up because I've mentored her and got her to where she is, and she's really happy doing what she does. I do my bit. We work so well together that we're in a state of, do you know what? We're doing such good treatment on patients that really want to see us and appreciate us, And as I say, we're working it so efficiently that we're actually making quite a good living from it. And I was thinking, that is such a great place to be. But it's all about all the work that has taken me to get to this point. And again, it's only now, especially doing this with you and, going through the diploma in coaching, is that I can actually reflect on that and understand how I've got here, why I've got here, what I've done to get here. And my ultimate goal now for the next year is to actually pass that on and teach and show other people that what is possible. And that it's not just about drilling, filling, hating the job and just doing it for, getting the pay pack. It's actually doing what you do and do it with purpose and enjoying what you do. So yeah, that was a highlight for me this year. And also obviously doing this, and on a serious note, doing this podcast has been one of my highlights of the year. Of course it has. But yeah, professionally, and obviously starting to do what I like to say, enjoy more in the practice, doing more implants, doing more oral surgery. They're the things that I enjoy doing.
Do you know what, Bav? And firstly, that isn't silly at all. So I need to correct your self-talk by the simple fact that was the first thought, even though you corrected yourself.
It's because I'm comparing myself to someone like of you and your stature. It's just,
oh well, what can I say? But no, you should never do that, right? We're
no, of course,
on our own journeys, and it just so happens that our journeys are traveling at the same path right now. And comparing yourself. This is for any of our listeners, right? Comparing yourself does nothing. If you want to compare yourself to role model yourself on someone, with us being mentors, coaches,
exactly, as a mentor, exactly,
then that's that is actually a key part of growth. But don't compare yourself, or don't put yourself down in comparison. So to you, Bav, what I heard you say just now more than anything is love what you do, but find that way to love it. And make sure it's with purpose, because what you described is not what a lot of people in our profession experience. And a lot of that I know is through your own reflections, your own personal growth, your own journey in personal development, because you then now have the ability to do that. Because most people, when they're unhappy at work, think that it's the dentistry that they hate, and actually, if you peel back all the layers, it's not really. It's probably all the circumstances that create that. Even I wanted to leave dentistry. I don't have much time for clinical work nowadays, but that's a completely different reason. And realizing actually, no, I love what I do. Yeah. I definitely didn't, but it wasn't actually the dentistry. It was all of the circumstances, the stress, the practice, other things going on in my life. One thing always impacts on another, doesn't it? So what you shared was actually, I think, most people's dreams. So celebrate. Can we celebrate?
Thank you. Woo! Yeah.
Yes.
And Jules, I'm not seeing you awards. Well done.
Congratulations.
People talk about this concept of work-life balance, and again, that's something that's hit home this year, is that there's no such thing as work-life balance. It's work-life harmony, right? Because a lot of people's work is their life, and their life is their work. And so if it works both ways, you shouldn't compromise on one thing for the other. It should work together.
Yes, so my thing about this. So I talk about optimal performance. I talk about the play model of optimal performance, right? So play is our productivity. That's all our work. We're really, really productive people. And the L is about living. So I hate to use the term work-life balance, and I don't even use harmony anymore, because it's not just work and life. It's life. It's living your life. So how can you live your life to the fullest, and what does that look like for you? So that brings in what you just said about, well, actually, for some people, their life is their work. Okay, but then how can you live it with that degree of fulfillment, and then bring in that word harmony? Because there's more that, what is work, what is life? You're alive. So it's living. And then of course the A is amuse, so fun. How can you have fun? How can you be happy? We've talked about that. And the Y is all about yielding to habits and understanding that every single thought, which we've talked about, is a habit. So we need to change all of those habits, be it thoughts, actions, feelings, so that you truly shift in the direction that you want to be an optimal performer, which is high performance without the burnout, sustainable high performance. We're back onto energy. It's turning yourself into your own rechargeable battery.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
For a turnaround.
Go on then. Personal. Let's reflect on your best personal achievement this year.
My best personal achievement.
I mean, I guess those things that you described are an element of personal, just as exactly you've described. I mean, you're living. You're living.
This brings it back right into what you just said about life. And there are times when the focus may be much more on work. And for me, work doesn't feel like work because I love what I do. I'm living it, breathing it. But if I think specifically then personal life, I obviously this past year I had 2 of my children going through major exams. We had the double whammy of A-levels and GCSEs. So in amongst all of that crazy work, I mentally and emotionally wanted to prioritize my kids, and I really genuinely managed to do that. So I was there for them. I was there for them to feed them. I was there to take them to visit sixth forms, to apply to universities. I was there to take them to their mock exams so they didn't have to rely on the bus and risk being late. I was there to take them to their exams. I was there to do their grant applications and pick up their exams. And I was there, and I'm aware that I could buy my kids anything. They're not going to remember that. What they are going to remember is the time that I've spent with them and the person that I was with them. You know, I make a point at the moment. Now I've only got 2 at home. When my 13-year-old says, Mum, actually, I'd like to talk to you about something, immediately, that's it, phone down, laptop down, because that is an honor that my teenage son actually wants to talk to me about stuff and so open. And I made a point, you know, we went on an incredible holiday. I always take my kids on adventure holidays. I always like to push them out of their comfort zone, and we're always really active. So we got to do that. But I also got to spend some of the summer with my dad, cousins who I hadn't seen for 20 years. My kids got to know relatives that they didn't know. And that's what we're going to be doing just at the end of this year as well. I'm going to be taking them to Bahrain, where my mother's family is from. And again, they all went when they were babies. Now they're grown-ups. And I'm so aware that my family, you know, my mother died when I was young, right? So my aunt is really stepped in as my mother since my 20s, and she's getting older. My uncle's getting older, and my cousins are much younger than me. I don't know them that well, and I want those generations to continue. I want my children to know their foundations, where they're from, how those people lived, their ancestry, their food, that really embrace that culture. Because I mean, I was born here. I've lived here all my life. You know, I am well and truly British through and through. I'm obsessed with tea, but but it was really weird. Ever since being a child, whenever I used to go to Bahrain, it would feel like I had come home, and that was just because of being embraced by so much love. So I want my kids to really experience that. So loads of really personal highlights this year around.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a true believer in that, and especially with my kids. And like I say, hopefully one day they'll look back and go, Daddy was there to pick me up, drop me to school. What price do you put on that? You know, I could work more hours. I could work, you know, and weekends. But it's just about what does that cost in terms of relationship, and how important is that to you right now? I mean, let's say if you're living the first 10 years, and you know you are everything to your children for the first 10 years. After that, they get boyfriends, girlfriends, they get best friends, they get, you know, there's other distractions. They don't want to spend as much time with you. So I'm trying to make the most of it and milk it as much as I can. And mine's 6 and 8 now, and I say try to spend as much time as I can with them. And yeah, that's been. I've succeeded in that so far, and hopefully, like I say, I'll do that. Continue to do that. And so, yeah, hopefully, like I say, one day they'll look back and go, you know what? As you say, it's they won't remember the presents I bought them, but they'll remember my presents. Hopefully.
Love that twist on words. Yeah, absolutely. Would you say that's been your personal highlight or any?
Well, no, personal highlights obviously got to be on being on the wheel. Yeah, that was.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
That was
TV show, having such a brilliant laugh.
Seen it? Go and watch it. Season 6, episode 3. It's on BBC iPlayer. It was such a great experience, and do you know what? I was really worried about the way they edit it, because I was, concerned that on Apprentice people go on and they can make people look really silly, and people like and people misconstrue things people say, because I spoke about so much. There was so much edited out of that. You don't realize what goes into a TV production, TV show. I think it took about possibly 2.5 hours to film that, and it's only an hour episode, so you can imagine how much is actually cut out. But I think hopefully I came across well, and hopefully I did the profession proud. And that was one of my highlights. Purely, and again, it was my purpose of doing that. The reason why I did that: one, getting older, and I'm getting to this age where I don't really care what people think anymore, so why not, right? Two, it's to show that my children that you can do whatever you want to do. You put your mind to it, you can do it. There were 70,000 applications for that, and I got on it. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I got on it, and that was great. 5 million people watched it. There's some things that have gone viral with regards to some of the little videos, and that there's about 1 million views just on those little viewers. And I was thinking, once my kids see that, they'll be able to see that, I can do this. If Daddy can get on TV and do what he does, I could be who I want to be. And as growing up, you didn't see people like us on TV, right? And it's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It was just one of those things that we didn't have these role models. We used to just watch TV, and it used to be the same people going on and on. Whereas now, our kids hopefully will see that and go, actually, I can be the Prime Minister. I can be Rishi. I can be my dad on the wheel. I could be, there's so many people in the public eye now that are of different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultural, social backgrounds. It's great. And it's great that we embrace that. Hopefully I did them proud.
I love that, Bav. Just listening to you, the passion and the excitement in your voice, and the ultimate message, right? Again, back to that reinforcement. You can, limits, right? No limits. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Put your energy there. Yeah. Keep working, keep pushing.
Yeah. Watch this space. Maybe next year. Yeah, next year I could run for MP or something.
Yeah. Oh, please don't. You're far more fun like this.
I would do that. Yeah. I don't know how they've got an art, though. And you probably know this more than most, right? Is that the way that they talk, the way that they come across, they're so trained to sit on the fence and not really give an answer to the question. And it's such a great art form. Boris Johnson had it down to a T.
A few friends who are MPs, and even then they're always kind of like, oh wait, but it's just like, before I tell the truth, I better just like
I know. See, exactly.
Before I share this with you, can I really trust you? Yeah,
it's an art, and it just goes to show you can be taught these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so moving on, I've had another little outfit change. I've just moved my tinsel again.
Got that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you guess we
put my lights on.
Yeah, put your lights on and you jump.
Put my lights on. I don't want to waste the batteries though.
Not flashing. What are your goals for 2026?
My goals for 2026. Go on, then I'll go first on this one, I guess. Right, so 2026. Obviously, I want to spread the word, spread the love, spread the energy. We want to make dentistry great again, and I think that's what we're about. We want anyone that needs help, or anyone feels that they want a mentor, a coach, someone just to talk to. We're here. You've got obviously all our links. If you're listening to this, reach out to us on Nail It and the silver membership. Do you know what? Again, going back to you, but I can't thank you enough for putting out there so much information for free. Right, that is downloadable, like I say, on the Breathe platform, but also the silver membership on the Nail It in Dentistry website. All of that sort of stuff that we're trying to get out there and show, that's what I want to drive more in 2026. So my aim is to help you and help the dental profession be happier. Just be happier individuals. And this is not just for dentists. It's not just for clinicians. It's also for receptionists. It's all for the whole team, right? And if you can find joy in what you do every day, that would be the ultimate goal for us.
Would be awesome. That's an incredible goal, actually, and very similar for me. I've laid down so many foundations this year, and next year it's getting even bigger. We're pushing out our services more. We've got obviously I've got the book coming out. So that's like,
I need to read that. I still need to read that.
To read that, I've given you the review copy. So that's kind of like your where do you start? Like, you can start with that. We've got obviously our silver membership, which is everything to do with well-being. And then you've got all the leadership stuff, the gold membership, which actually trains you on all of those 38 components that are in the book. Or you can go up again and join our group coaching and get yourself a mentor in titanium with much more advanced leadership training. It's brilliant for associates, practice managers, anyone who needs those leadership skills. And then, of course, the whole package is to go platinum with you having then your own coach, learning all those skills, being part of a mastermind, coming to some specific live training events. We've got the diploma launching next year, so the postgraduate diploma in healthcare leadership and well-being, and we're looking to how you can then get progression to get a master's degree from that. There is so much going on, but the thing I'm most excited about, well, obviously I can't wait for the book, and we're doing like loads of publicity and PR at the moment, but I'm really excited about the Nail It Roadshow.
Yeah. Because I think that's where people get the most from you and from the techniques that you teach, and just being there, immersing yourself, even if it's just for a day, right? I mean, the day is a lot and you get a lot out of it, but you know, the boot camps, like I say, from reiterating with a book and joining one of our memberships, you get so much from you. But those days, I'm looking forward to those.
You get a whole day of runner. My energy.
No, but seriously, the day that we did last year, it was so good. And as you say, the energy in that room was amazing, and people will feel it as soon as they walk into that room. The day they come, and as soon as they leave, they're gonna leave a different person. I guarantee that. Anyone that goes on one of those days will leave with a different mindset, and that's a guarantee.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that. And it's not just going to be the good old Londoners either. So we're going London, we're doing the Midlands, we'll do Birmingham, and another one in Manchester. So that's going to be March, April, May next year. And we've just sent out the first email blast. I'll make sure we get a pop-up on the Nail It in Dentistry website, so it's really easy to find. But so I think for me that's the book isn't about dentistry. It's about optimal performance, and so many of the stories it's all about professionals, so that goes out to the whole population and that goes global. So I'm super excited about that, but I'm really excited about the road shows and all of the stuff that's in the dental press. I've still got my column in Private Dentistry. I write for Adam magazine as well, so the Practice Managers magazines, all of that stuff are little bits about Nail It. I write in a lot of other non-dental magazines, and then also I'm excited for the shows. Watch this space for some stuff with the BDIA and possibly with FMC and some other event stuff, so you can get those little tasters and experiences. So BDIA in March, definitely we want you to put those dates in your diary for the middle of March, and come and meet Bav, who won't be in a Christmas jumper at that point, but I'll find you an Easter bunny, I think.
I want one of the Nail It t-shirts, I told you. Surely I've done enough now to earn a t-shirt.
Patience, Bav.
Like Ginny Kish had with Dr. Bav at the back. I want one of those, right?
I'm going to get you a Nail It t-shirt. I think I said to you, you needed to earn the hoodie, didn't you?
Oh, right, okay, right. Is that the next level, right? Get enough tokens, I can get one of those. Loading one of those slot machines. And
then you get multiple colours. You get all the brand colours.
Awesome. It's endless.
The grey and the black.
It's endless.
So I mean, I'm really excited. That's from a work point of view next year, right? So what's your and I'm so excited for our team and all the stuff we're going to be doing together, because of course you'll be at the event. You'll be at the BDIA.
It's not just us two. There's a whole team.
An amazing team. Hoda, who's an expert. They're all dentists as well, or in dentistry. Hoda is a dentist with special interest in perio. She has extra qualifications in coaching and lifestyle medicine. We've got Nina Farmer, all about nutrition and hangover cures. Yay! We've got Ricky, who's an NLP coach and NLP practitioner. So much about your vocabulary and your mindset. We've got Anjali, who also is a dentist, but works more now in HR, and she's also a coach, and she's also trained like you in DISC certification and the 5 behaviors certification. So all of these things that we can do. You, my wonderful podcast.
Yeah, and we've got all the great people we've had on the podcast as well, and we've got so many more coming up next year. I'm really excited for the ones, because obviously we have done a few, but we've got a few more to go, and I'm looking forward to loads. There's loads of really good ones coming up next year.
It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. So what's the personal goal, Bav?
Personal, do you know what? I don't know if my wife's going to love me or hate me for saying this, but I want to be more like her. And the reason I say that
mean?
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, she's going to hate me for saying it, because she's very humble person, and she doesn't like to blow her own trumpet or anything. And she's going to love me saying it, because she always thinks I never mention her. Whenever I do anything, like apparently on the wheel, I never mentioned her, which I was supposed to. Even on the applications, I never mentioned her. And she always picks up on it. I always talk about the kids. I even talk about my family sometimes, and also my parents, my sisters, both being dentists as well. But I never spoke about her. But I want to be more like her, purely because we're quite a yin and yang. And we parent like that as well. And I need to be a little bit more like her, I need to just be a bit more calm and find the little joys in life. Whereas I'm a little bit like you, not so much, but I'm just always looking for the next sort of like, okay, what are we going to do next? Okay, what should I do now? And I'm a little bit more impatient with, I just want to move on to the next thing. And I'm like, oh, it's their bedtime, or, they need to do this, they need to do that. And she's just a bit more like chilled and, like spending time. And, she would literally put her phone off on the side, whereas I'm still on my phone. Again, that's another thing I want to do less of, is be more present in the evenings and on the weekends for the kids. So, I want to be a bit more like my wife, I guess, in 2020.
Also, you're a little bit like I used to be.
You used to be. All right.
Because I'm not like that now.
Right.
Probably I'm much more mindful, very strict. My boundaries are strict. The phone is off. The phone doesn't get off.
I think that's the word, is boundaries.
Good. Yeah, but what I had, boundaries, presence, calm.
Yeah.
But the simple fact that you are reflecting now and aware that actually those other behaviors are not making you happy, then once you have the awareness, you can then trigger it into setting appropriate actions. Right?
It's just being so chill. She's so chill. She'll go like, she's in reverse. I'm always worrying about something or other. And it's kind of like, well, what's the worst that could happen?
Waste of energy.
It is.
Yeah, you've got to practice what you preach. I mean, those are the things you coach people around, right?
Exactly.
What is the worst that could happen?
Yeah.
Why are you worrying? We're back to the fear bit, right? Your fake energy appearing real. So yes.
Yeah.
Calm.
So
calm,
be more like Hina, 2026.
There we go. Yeah, I love that. Now you get that T-shirt made.
No. Go on then. What's yours? Go on.
My goal, or we talked about work, right?
2026, personal.
Personal goal next year is actually it's just more time for my personal life. Yeah.
Boundaries again, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, the next book is going to be about the most hilarious stories of my dating history, which my friends, like, I regale them, and they're just usually in hysterics. So we'll see. We'll see what happens on that delightful personal front. But in my journey, we're always learning and we're always growing. And I've definitely learned to really value myself so much more, of actually what is right for me and what isn't right for me, rather than trying to put a square into a round hole, which is probably, from my own point of view, as successful as I've been professionally, probably what I've tried to do on a personal life, of instead of actually valuing myself enough to say, well, actually, Rana, it's not right for you, and this isn't what you really want. So I'm just observing myself from a distance about how I've been behaving in the last few months. I'm excited to go into this next year. Of course, I'm always open to love and romantic relationships, but I'm also at the point of, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. There's no need to force anything in life anymore. Because if you're forcing it, you're not actually creating it.
And a lot of people say that, right? When, especially people that are looking for love, people force it and it doesn't happen. And then when you stop, all of a sudden it happens. And there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, Very much so. And so with anything. So I'm kind of enjoying observing myself and my behavior and just being really, truly content with myself and my life. So as much as I'm pushing myself and achieving goals and thriving, I'm also very at peace with who I am and where I am. So I'm not coming from a place of lack in any way, and I'm enjoying that. So I want to build more on that next year.
Awesome.
And go to another Joe Dispenza retreat, because I loved that in October, and I was just this meditation, manifestation.
That's the one that you said was like having mushrooms, right?
Yes. That we haven't aired that podcast episode yet. But yeah,
she didn't say mushrooms.
They ended up feeling like you've had a load of magic mushrooms, and it was all meditation.
No. Yeah. But you said that's what it's likened to that.
I loved it. So I just, I definitely want to, because again, that was me giving myself that gift of time purely for myself and my own development, and for me, my own spiritual growth. So I definitely want to do something like that again next year.
Awesome.
We are out of time.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? Time flies, doesn't it? Time flies.
Come on, you've got to at least say goodbye with the Christmas eyes again.
Oh, I put the lights back on. You're wasting my batteries, man.
Oh, come on.
Do you know what? I don't even know. I shouldn't say this, right?
I'm not worth it.
I don't even have to wash this because the lights are inside it. So I've not washed this, and it's like 5 years old.
So your jumper is smelly. That's what you're telling me.
No, because I smell nice. But look.
Yay! And what about the eyes, the goggle eyes?
All right.
Come on. Let's off on the Christmas spirit.
Do you know what? I really want to take a time to thank all the listeners, first of all, for tuning in and obviously listening to us bang on this year. It's been a privilege for us, I guess, to do this. And I really, really hope that every single listener gets something from every podcast and hopefully takes it on board, but also starts to implement it as soon as they hear it. And if they don't, they need to listen to another podcast and another podcast. And as soon as you becomes a habit, by listening to us, you will get nuggets of information every podcast. And like I said, we're putting it all out there for free, and it's just about you being the best version of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So wishing you an amazing festive season. Yeah. However you celebrate, whatever you do, if nothing else, it's a time to reflect. It's a time for love, for loved ones, for family, to reflect on your health, to reflect on your happiness, to set yourself those goals. When you do set a goal, make sure you write it down and you share it with somebody, because then that's going to increase your chances of success. Yeah. So you go beyond the 30th of January where you've then tried everything and you've given it all up. Announce your goals, put them in the comments on our Instagram page. We'll help hold you accountable. But more than anything, send love out into this world. And in Bavin's words, be kind.
Can be anything in life, be kind.
On that note,
thank you, guys.
Better, live fully, love more. We'll see you in 2026. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Nail It podcast. We would love it if you would leave us a 5-star review. And if you'd like to feature as one of our guests, or you're ready to nail it, then check out our events, programs, and educational courses by visiting nailitindentistry.com.